continuing our interview with Neal Skorpen about his development as an artist. So, Neal.
Yes.
You're in adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
You're becoming disgruntled with your childish scrawls.
Yeah.
And you're starting to, what happened next?
Well, about that time, I was in junior high.
Were you beat up a lot as a
Not a lot.
annoying little
Couple
punk?
times.
and then you started beating other people up?
No, I never graduated to the beating up of others.
Okay.
But I'd been doing these comics for fun as a tween and whatnot, and then I got into, I think it was 8th grade. I had to do a large-scale class project, so I did another comic series that was kind of a parody of the story of Odysseus, which I was really into as a young teenager. So it was like Odysseus traveling to like he met the Harpies, and the Harpies were fighting the burger war between Burger King and McDonald's, stuff like that. That's the kind of thing that was going on.
And how was what was the quality of the illustrations?
Oh, it was poor, I'm sure.
Were you using perspective and shadowing?
No, it was all in pencil. It was just line drawings. I mean, you could tell what it is you're looking at, but there wasn't any real craftsmanship. But, I was 14 years old.
Okay, so then in high school, what happened?
Oh, so in high school, I had another class requiring a year-long project. And I worked with another creator on a graphic novel over the course of our sophomore year, I guess it was.
See you guys later.
And then we decided to make it a trilogy. So we ended up working on this comic project throughout 2 years of high school and then on into college.
What was it about?
It was about a guy who finds his physical body transported into the world of dreams, which turns out to be this alternate universe that your consciousness travels to when you sleep.
Wow, where can I buy this?
You cannot
It's a trilogy.
There's only a couple. Hello. There's only the original art and maybe one set of Xeroxes in existence, so you're out of luck.
Does it exist in the world of dreams?
Of course it does.
So what happened next? This sounds great.
Okay, so after that, I was in college.
Well, no, wait a minute. What happened to the guy with his dream travels?
So he was kind of a surly, unpleasant guy. He met this other character who lived in the world of dreams, who helped him escape in the end. He escaped back to the real world, but he became disillusioned and unhappy with the real world after having been to a place where anything at all could happen, and his consciousness, well, he hadn't really gotten there yet, but anyway, he's wishing he could go back, and he finds a way back, finds some other travelers. They hop around through different dimensions, different alternate universes. Eventually, Dominic is the main guy. He learns from one of the other travelers that your subconscious self that travels to the world of dreams has the power to breach these barriers between universes. So if you can kind of train your subconscious like lucid dreaming, you can go to sleep, you can summon your subconscious self, it can punch through the barriers and take you to any place you want to go. So he learns how to do that. But in the course of all this, he has to defeat this entity called the Directory, which is basically this kind of computer entity that is taking over every
machines
universe.
Versus dreams.
Yeah.
And did you complete the series?
We did.
And how was the quality of drawing there?
It was excellent. Her drawing was better than mine. She was really good with characters. I actually learned a lot about how to draw characters from doing that project. But yeah, it was decent. Yes.
And do you still have it? In your vault?
Yeah.
And will you put it on the internet?
No, I will most likely not.
How does one draw dreams? And how does the reader know that it's a dream?
Well, the nice thing about comics, I mean, there's lots of ways to approach drawing dreams.
You could say this is a dream.
You can have someone lying on the ground and a big zzz above their head and a little, car in the bubble, and that's their dream.
Yeah. That's a classic way.
Yeah. Dreams can look like anything. So the only thing they really can't look like is real life. I mean, they can, but in my experience, dreams are always at least a little bit off from straight up reality. So there's always going to be something that's kind of weird.
You mean like that car would have square wheels or something?
Yeah. But comics can do this really cool thing that no other medium can really do, where in a dream, things can change without transition. Like, you can be holding a Coke bottle in your dream, and then time passes and you're then holding a rolling pin, but that Coke bottle never changed into a rolling pin. It's just different now. You can do that in comics because in one panel it's a Coke bottle, in the next panel it's a rolling pin. You can't really do that in film or animation because you have to have some kind of shift. I mean, you could do it with cuts, but because everything's in motion, there's kind of this inherent living quality that you can't really get past. So comics work really well for depicting dreams, and Mobius in particular, we were talking about before, does that really well in some of his stuff.
Okay, so this transition, this discontinuity, is that a trick that helps the reader understand that this is a dream? Of a bottle changes into a wrench?
I think so. There's a couple of dream sequences in Tintin that use that technique very effectively, where things from one panel to the next, people's clothes change, or people get gigantic, or someone is wrapped up in a towel and they're stuck in a bottle. So, and it has a very clear kind of dreamlike effect, those sort of transitions.
So this trilogy, this guy who did dream traveling in the war against the machine, you guys finished it, and that is a big deal to be able to finish a work when you're in high school.
It was a big deal. Yeah. It was kind of a struggle because I went away to college in Oregon. She went to school in Colorado. And we were kind of mailing things back and forth, and it was a challenge to kind of stay focused enough to stay with it to the very end. And I think we kind of rushed it at the very end. But we made it to a conclusion that more or less made sense.
So this was collaboration over distance before the internet.
Yeah, it was. Well, yeah, it was. Yes. This was.
Was this in the 19th century?
No, this was in
20th century, last century.
The late 80s and early 90s.
God, you're old.
Yeah, no kidding.
So then what happened in college?
So in college...
Did you go to college?
Yes. I went to the University of Oregon. I drew a daily comic strip for the Oregon Daily Emerald for 1 year.
What was that about? Is that Metal March?
No, that was Oscar the Freshman. And it was crazy characters doing crazy things and some really shrill political commentary about life in college. A lot of anti-fraternity stuff.
And do you still have these?
Yeah, actually those. So my friend Mike Russell, who also was at U of O at the time, put together an actual book that included almost that entire run of Oscar the Freshman, and there was a whole bunch of cartoonists at the U of O at that time, so we're all in this book together called Panels, which there might be a few copies on the shelf at Powell's or floating around somewhere else.
Is it on the internet?
Well, it's no longer in print, so if Powell's has any, they'll be on Powell's.com. Other than that, I don't really know where you might find.
And how's the quality of art in Oscar the Freshman?
It's kind of subpar. I mean, I had a very inflated sense of my own talent in college, and so I wasn't too concerned about making it better. I thought the way I draw it is great.
Did you wear a cape?
No, I could have. Wouldn't have been too far. I had a trench coat that I had painted on one sleeve, some weird designs. I wore that a lot.
Oh, we see that design all around us at the convention.
I guess so.
So then what happened after Oscar? How long did Oscar run?
Well, it ran for a year, and then I brought it back the following fall term. And then
Was it still called Oscar the Freshman or
Yes.
Oscar the Sophomore?
It was still Oscar the Freshman, because his whole thing was he does things for the first time. He comes into a situation clueless.
Oh, he had a thing.
He kind of had a thing. It wasn't super developed in the strip. It was more just whatever random stuff I want to deal with at the time. But I sort of thought of him as he's always got to be Oscar the Freshman, because he enters situations in ignorance and has to kind of stumble his way through and make mistakes before he can figure out how to cope with whatever the situation might be.
Did you have trouble finding time for your art because you were playing so much Dungeons and Dragons?
No, I only play Dungeons and Dragons one day a week, so I had plenty of time to draw.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yeah, but late in fall term of the second year,
Yeah.
I did a strip that pissed off the editor, so he kicked me out of the paper after that.
Do you remember me?
Yeah,
Not name said, that's fine.
I can't remember your name, but you were in my class. Yeah.
This is my son Sky.
Oh, hi.
And I actually finished one of them.
Oh, good.
First attempt. First book.
Oh, look at that.
I know you tell it's first attempt, but
That's gorgeous.
Okay, we'll continue
Oh,
this
I'm
after
sorry.
you have a chance to appreciate this art.
Sorry.
Thank you.